Welcome to the Business Growth Club. Here we empower small businesses like yours to grow and scale with insight, education and advice. We work with hundreds of entrepreneurs like you every single day, and we bring their questions and learning to this podcast to help more business owners grow and thrive. Entrepreneurs face numerous daily risks that would seem insurmountable to non-entrepreneurs. How do they develop the confidence to take these risks? Many people avoid entrepreneurship due to the fear of losing everything. Money, time, investment, and even social standing. Risk-taking is a skill that can be honed through practice. By consistently making smart, calculated risk, entrepreneurs reap significant rewards. In today's session, I'll share practical strategies to help you take more smart risk daily, even if it starts with taking the first leap into starting a business. I'm your host today, Mick Foster from Purple Yak, the business coaching firm behind the Business Growth Club. Let's jump in. The truth is simple. Most entrepreneurs don't see it initially, and this is the first thing that we get our clients to see. As an entrepreneur, you're essentially an investor. You're investing in yourself, your time, and your money, hoping to return on that investment. There are no guarantees. So why do entrepreneurs take these risks? They've experienced enough success to know that most of the time it works out. Whether in the short or long term. This knowledge helps them progress closer to their goals. However, simply knowing this doesn't make taking regular risks and making decisions to achieve success any easier. To overcome this challenge and become better at taking risks in your business and life as an entrepreneur, I'd like to start with a quote from Jim Rohn, a renowned personal development expert. If you're not familiar with Jim, I highly recommend checking him out on YouTube. He famously said, "It's all risky. Starting a business is risky. Starting a business is inherently risky. Regardless of whether you take action or not, you're taking a risk. If you don't pursue your passion in life and avoid taking these risks, you risk never doing them at all. You risk living in an unfulfilled life filled with regrets and wasted time. Every passing day brings you closer to aging, and time is finite. So if you have a desire to achieve something in your life or build something meaningful, delaying it only increases the risk. The longer you wait, the more challenging it becomes and the less time you'll have to accomplish it." Now, I'm not suggesting that age is a barrier to starting a business. Of course, it's possible, but the odds are in your favour if you start sooner rather than later. This mindset of taking risks is empowering. It's crucial to recognise that if you don't make decisions or take calculated risks, you're not moving forward, but you have to. It's an absolute necessity. I can't even begin to overstate the importance of this mindset. Another key aspect to understand is that people who achieve great wealth, who often do remarkable things and made a significant impact to other people's lives, they've taken enormous risks throughout their journey. However, upon reflection, it's evident that they didn't make a single monumental risk at once. Instead, they gradually accumulated smaller risks building up to that point. They developed the necessary muscle memory and habit rituals to be able to take these calculated risks. This is because momentum plays a crucial role. The smaller the risk, the smaller the reward. But as you progress, the rewards increase, allowing you to build upon the success and expand your business. Consequently, you can take on even greater risks. So, remember, you need to build this risk muscle. Just as you would if you wanted to get a six-pack or build big biceps. Repetition of sit-ups and curls are key. Starting a business on the side while working is a low-risk endeavour. You're not quitting your job so you still have an income. The only risk is sacrificing your free time, but it's worth it. You're dedicating a few hours each weekend to work on your business, building your skills and knowledge. This is a small risk, but it's a risk nonetheless. You're replacing your recreational time with business building, and you're building a habit. Start small and gradually take on more. Next, consider taking a bigger risk. Investing some of your spare money into your business. You might normally spend money on coffees, dinners, long weekends, but now you're using that money to build your business. The risk here is that you might not be able to enjoy those things for a while, but if your investment pays off, you'll be able to enjoy them even more when you're successful as an entrepreneur. Remember, these are just baby steps to building up muscle to taking risk. You have to be willing to take these small, minimal risks. If you're not, you need to reconsider whether you really want to start a business. This is something that you have to get used to. You can't say, I want to be an Olympic athlete, but then not willing to put in the work. This is the workout that you need to do in business. One thing that really helped me understand this concept of what if I lose it all was when I imagined myself losing everything, my job, my business, and even my home. I thought about what would happen if I had no money. So I did something. I took action. When I embarked on my full-time entrepreneurial journey after quitting my job to become a business builder, I made a conscious effort to drastically reduce my expenses. I adopted a minimal viable lifestyle, living in a one-bedroom flat and cooking at home wherever possible. These experiences taught me that I could comfortably live with very little. Even if, for some reason, my business venture failed, my expenses were manageable. I could cover my bills by working part-time on Saturday and Sunday. This mindset helped me realise that the worst-case scenario was not as dire as I had imagined, and I would be financially stable. Of course, this level of expense reduction may not be feasible for everybody, and certainly wouldn't for me now in my 40s with a family. However, it's important to understand that money or capital is essential for survival in business. If you don't require a significant amount of capital to sustain yourself or your team, you can extend your business's longevity. This extra time provides a runway for growth and experimentation. Another strategy you can employ is to confront your fears before taking risks in business. For instance, before launching a new product, changing your pricing, or making a major hire, ask yourself, what's the worst case scenario? What's the most dire outcome that could happen in this situation? This exercise may seem daunting, but it's actually quite comforting. It's not about dwelling on doom and gloom, it's about facing reality. What's the absolute worst that could happen? And is it truly the worst possible outcome? For example, let's say your new product flops and doesn't attract many customers. Well, that would be disappointing. It's not the end of the world. On the contrary, it could actually be an opportunity for learning and growth. You just need to say to yourself, I didn't get the results I was hoping for, but I gained valuable insight, so I can go again. For most people, this means being cautious with their expenses for a few months. Reflect on your reasons for pursuing this journey. Remember that this phase is temporary, a learning opportunity to take in risks, overcoming challenges, and refine your investment strategies. Understand that sacrifices you make will be worthwhile once you achieve product market fit and realize the positive returns on your investment. Maintain a strong desire for your vision and the life you want to build for yourself and your business. Lastly, take calculated risks. Not all risks are equally valuable. Avoid reckless decisions without thorough research and understanding the potential pros and cons. Ensure that any action that you take aligns with your willingness to face the worst case scenario. Imagine the consequences if your efforts fail and outline how you would handle them. Calculated risks involve taking calculated chances, such as investing £5,000 in a company with the hope of generating a return on investment. If you lose all your money, does that mean you can no longer pay your mortgage? This exercise helps you assess your financial stability and determine if you can actually withstand the potential consequences of your decisions. If the consequences are too high, don't take the risk. It's a terrible situation to put yourself in. However, if you're going to be just fine, it might just mean that you can't go on that fancy holiday that you wanted that year, and you're okay with that. This is a calculated risk you can live with. A part of that calculation is understanding your chances of success and how confident you are based on the actual facts and tangible evidence that you and your team can provide, indicating that this can actually be accomplished if certain conditions are met. You can even use a confidence scale of 0 to 10 and say anything 7 or above I feel comfortable with. So to conclude today's session, you need to be able to build muscle memory when it comes to taking risks. Risks are an integral part of business. Looking back, I realise that every day I go to work, I make numerous small risks that I would have lost sleep over just a decade ago. This is because I've become immune to those feelings that accompany those risks. I've essentially told myself, hey, it's no big deal. I've assessed the risks and I'm comfortable with them. I'm going to be fine. Part of this is detaching your personal identity and emotions from your decisions in business. These are experiments. These are opportunities for you to succeed, and sometimes you'll fail. However, it's not truly failure because you'll learn from it for the next time. You won't make the same mistake again. As Jim Rohn said, whether you take a risk or not, you're still taking a risk. Thank you very much for listening and subscribing to the podcast. Before we go, I wanted to share this with you. The reality that many of us don't even consider is that life is a risk itself. You took a risk when you chose your career. You took a risk when you got married or you met your significant other. You took a risk when you decided to buy your house or start a family. All these are risks, but we're comfortable with them because society has told us that they're normal. These are the things that everyone does. The reason why entrepreneurship is scary is that not everyone does it. Not everyone takes those risks. But the more you become familiar with entrepreneurship, the more you realise that it's normal. It's just like any other risk in life. Consider the worst case scenario, the positives, the negatives, and then make a decision based on those. Thank you so much for listening today, and I'll catch you on the next one. If you've got any burning questions or you'd like to hear anything on the podcast, reach out on our social channels or email michael@purpleyak.co.uk. I'll see you then. Take care.